As a body of believers, the Lord ultimately led us to that conclusion. We came together as a church family and said, the Lord appears to be leading us to relocate this church. The 90s were a very dynamic time at Grace Church. My recollection is that it was a time when our ministries were expanding, when we were making an increasing spiritual impact around the Twin Cities and as a missionary church around the world, and yet we had a problem. The problem was we were growing at a double-digit rate year over year, and we had no place to go. We could not expand at 53rd and France. If God was going to continue to bless us with people, were we going to be faithful as a congregation to find a way to accommodate those people? Ultimately, the Lord led us to this 62 acres out here in Eden Prairie. It was an interesting dynamic that first we had to decide where we were going to go, then we find this land, then we have to design it. We still don't have the money it takes. It was going to be a $52 million project. It was an exciting time. It was a time of energy and a buzz around the church, and yet it was a time of uncertainty too, because we had no idea whether the church body would respond in such a way as to allow us to fulfill the commitments of a $25 million campaign. Ultimately, in the spring of 2000, that campaign pledges came in at nearly $29 million. So the groundbreaking in the summer of 2000 was an amazing day of victory and joy and celebration, because again, that was a culmination of a 5-year journey up until that point. We didn't know it, but there was a perfect storm on the horizon. We were going to go through a very painful senior pastor transition. The dot-com recession came upon us, so a number of pledges, in fact, almost $10 million in pledges, were slow to be received. So we quickly went from a $15 million debt structure to a $25 million debt structure. We were a hurting church at that time. As we went through this time of trial and testing, God's grace was sufficient. His faithfulness was ever present. All the while we were journeying through this trial, God was loosening the soil around the feet of Troy and Sherry Dobbs. Here we are today, standing on the shoulders of generations that came before us that built that community at 53rd and France, and now a generation that journeyed out here to Eden Prairie. And today we're celebrating that after 17 years we're paying off the last of the original debt on this facility. We have dynamic ministries, we have a healthy staff, we have a great elder board. So what a great day for us to celebrate what God has done in our midst.